Welcome back. You can find anything pretty much on the internet, and that includes stats about real estate. There's so much information out there. It obviously can be very, very confused to know, hey, is this accurate? Is it not? So Brian Boer, a real estate agent at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties, here to take us down the right maze of information. Welcome back to the show. It's always great to have you here. You and I were just talking offline. Like, I was looking at the market the other day, and it said to me online, it's, the market in Fargo right now is cold. And you go, no, it's smoking hot right now.
Right. No, and that's the thing. Online, there's just so much information. It can be evaluated a ton of different ways. But really, buying and selling a house is really an emotional decision. And there's so many things that you can't really quantify numerically. Your view, privacy, how easy you can get to good schools or work. Those are things that are tough to put a number to, but those are the things that people use to, decide whether they buy or sell a house.
So how do you, because obviously people are trying to save time, and so it's probably even good for you to have people use the internet a little bit just to get an idea. So how would you coach them to go, hey, look, use the internet for X, but you need me for Y?
Right. And the thing is, it's a good guide to start. And Zillow, even Zillow, they say their estimates are within 10%, 70% of the time.
Okay.
Good guide, but 10% on a $400,000 house, that's a big range, Really a good story. We recently just relisted a property. It was listed with another company, put it online, and so I'll always go and check, Zillow, Realtor.com, just to make sure they don't pull old photos or anything like that. First site I go to has this house listed at an estimate of $380,000. which is about a year's salary lower than what we listed at. I'm like, oh boy, this might be tough sell. Next place I go to has an estimate of $750,000.
For the same house?
For the same house. And so it's like, okay, well, now I don't feel so bad. I think we're where we should be. So yeah, it's a guide.
But so then how do you help me as a consumer make sure, that obviously is, that's twice as much. It's a huge disparity. Right. So how do you help me go, okay, this is what's really happened in the market to make the right decision?
Yep, the biggest thing is you need a real estate agent that knows the market, that has actually been inside your house, has probably been inside other houses that have sold in the area, and do a market analysis for you and say, hey, here's the trends, here's what's going on. This is another property very similar to yours, here's what it actually sold for.
What's at the root of how these numbers get so misconstrued?
The biggest thing is, whether it's even if it's a county assessor or a website like that that's trying to assess tons of properties, it's just overgeneralizations. The one that that bothers me is square footage or price per square foot. And growing up building houses, I realize that very first square foot you build is the most expensive, because in that you have the cost of your lot. If you're in a rural area, you have your well and your septic all built into that. And then every square foot you build beyond that is cheaper and cheaper to build. So you got to keep that in mind. A 4,000 square foot house is not double of a 2,000 square foot house, if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. So, hey, that number can be misleading if you just use that metric.
Yep, exactly.
What other numbers should people be aware of that can be misleading?
I guess out in Lakes area in particular, the one that bothers me almost as much as price per square foot is people ask, what's price per foot on a lake, on a given lake, or frontage wise.
Right.
People always like to talk about Pelican Lake because it's the fun, exciting, expensive lake, and say, hey, what's stuff selling per foot on Pelican? It's like $2,000 to $6,000, depending on what you have. If you have something really high and elevated and in the nosebleeds, you're not going to get $5,000-6,000 a square foot, but not a square foot. $5,000-6,000 per foot of frontage. But if you have a nice level lot in the right spot, you can expect to get that amount.
Wow. Anything else we should know about looking at stuff online?
The big thing is just use it as a guide. Use it, realize what it is, and make sure that you don't just pull the information that you want to see. You're going to get a huge range of numbers. You just be realistic. You can't just say, oh, I found something that says my house is worth $700,000.
Right.
And then I found something that says it's worth $300,000. I'm not going to pay attention to this and just focus on this. You got to look at it really objective.
Most importantly, how can we get a hold of you?
The easiest is by cell, 218-850-2004, or by email, Brian, BRYAN, .Boer, which is BUHR, @BHHS preproperties.com.
Great stuff, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
being here.
thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, stay with us. We got much more coming up right after this.